Sagittarius, hi, come on in just in time for your Sagittarius February 2020 reading. It's great to see you. Look, a couple of announcements just before we get underway. The first thing is that a lot of people ask me, do I do personal readings? Well, now I am going to do that. I've set aside some time from other readings that I do and other spiritual work that I've been doing in order to address people just like you who I meet over YouTube. So if you look in the description box below, that will give you my email address, and just email me and we can take it from there. The second thing is that the readings, because of the schedule that I now am adopting to fit in all the different things that I'm doing, I'm going to start uploading the videos on the first week of the month for the following month. So February will be uploaded for the March readings, and then the next month, March, will be uploaded in, well, April will be uploaded in the first week of March, for example. The benefit of that, of course, is that it does give you the extra opportunity to let the messages from the different spiritual realms that I access sink in for your benefit and guidance. Because what I do here is real. I don't care what people in different countries might think to say that this is entertainment only. It may well be entertaining, but the reality is it is real. Now, the other thing is that a lot of people ask me, what is the artwork behind me? Well, it's this. And so there you go. I just thought I'd show you that in case you are interested. Now, for the theme for the month, we're going to use some indigenous artwork, and it's for you, it's victory, which is great to see. I'm also going to use a set of playing cards, draw 3 just to get a message from a separate spiritual realm. The 2 of Spades. A bunch of things come out here. There's the Jack of Hearts and the King of Spades. So they are good. And as for the Tarot, I wonder what they mean. We'll see in just a second. As for the Tarot, let's have a quick look now. We'll pull the usual 5 because that's all we need. Although, because of the mystical nature of it, I might go through these cards quite quickly. The 3 of Feathers. The Trial seems to be everywhere. The 6 of Flames, what a great card for you. The Daughter of Coins, that's also a good energy coming through for me already with that. It's sort of giving me goosebumps. And there's the Hierophant. This is one of those months for people, I think. Anyway, let's have a look at all of these cards and I'll tell you what they mean for you. All right, my beloved Sagittarius, the overriding theme coming from this level of spirit for you is this. It's victory. You will be overcoming past difficulties, hurts, and those things which are playing on your mind. You will be finding ways in which to deal with them, or at least for your mind to be put at ease. It's a fantastic affirmation for you, Sagittarius. Fantastic affirmation. This is the type of energy which everybody wants to get, and you have drawn it first up. Victory. Now, having looked at that as the overriding energy, let's also see what there is. Well, let's look at what is sitting below it. Here is the 6 of Flames. Now, the 6 of Flames really for me is Jupiter ruling the 2nd decanate of Leo, that 3rd to the 12th of August. And Jupiter is all about love and responsibility, philosophy, as you know, it being your ruling sign. And this combines with the creativity of Leo. And so we have success in achieving your goals. Leo is also ruled by the Sun, and so with this number 6 here, I see the 6 mystically as being ruled by the sun in esoteric thought. So you have a double dose of the sun and the great energy that it brings to you. Look, to cut a long story short, I call this card the Lord of Victory, and it is sitting directly beneath this, so you have a double dose of victory. Now Leo here, as I say, it's Jupiter, your planet ruling the second decan of Leo. That gives you confidence and creativity, while Jupiter bestows upon you expansiveness and good luck. You'll have victory over past troubles. Although you'll remember them, you will defeat them and become stronger. All is well. You've worked hard to get where you are, and it's all plain sailing and good times ahead. But look, there might be something which is carrying over, and because of this position up here, it looks like it's something which is carrying over into this period. And let's have a look at it here. The Three of Feathers. Yeah, I really do get the feeling of something carrying over, I think there's somebody who you are worried about. The feelings that I'm getting with relation to this are touch and pain, a necessary cut that liberates you from old fears and feelings of guilt. Memories trying to tie you to old patterns of experiencing and thinking. Just as the blood on the feathers is not real but only red paint, repetitive memories of yours of past hurts and problems relating to other people are also really for you without reality or substance. By cutting and separating, you can touch upon something new. There is at this time, I think, for you, really in the energy that's coming here, a rejuvenation of your destiny is what I'm getting. Now, the astrology of this card says that, look, don't be concerned if you have some difficulties here. This 3, for me, mystically is associated with the planet of Saturn, and astrologically, I have Saturn in the second decan of Libra. Now, in ordinary astrology, Saturn is also exalted in Libra, so ordinarily you might expect there to be good feelings that come around from that astrology, but combined with the Saturn in relation to 3, then there is really a double dose of Saturn, which is about limits and restrictions, time, form, and formality. So I've got the feeling really here that there's some sorrow or melancholy that you have in relation to somebody. There's a fear that you have for someone. I think it's for somebody else rather than yourself, but this is making you unhappy, and it's causing you some degree of stress. That's what has been coming in from the past, but with these other great cards around here, I think that this is something which is going to resolve itself, and resolve itself in a way which you are actually going to come to terms with. You're going to be confident about it. You're going to at least accept what the outcome of the thing is, but it's not something which is dangerous to you, except to the extent that you do feel the compassion, I think, for that other person. Where can we go to next? I think what we have here is trial. Let's have a look at trial, shall we? There we go. Now, looking at the imagery on the card itself, I get the feeling of a child born of the sun and the moon. And so it hangs head down, the cord uncut. A mighty shaking at the roots. Evolutionary history is being looked at. Fire burns up passions and desire. Water cleanses and heals. Feeling without echo and distress. Answers arising out of the very depths of your being. Surrendering to the reality of destiny. I mention the watery depths there because for me this is a card, I think, attributed to Neptune, the watery planet, the planet of, and I call the card the spirit of the mighty waters, and I see it Also very much associated with Taurus, interestingly enough. I think there is a degree of cleansing that's coming around for you now. There's a degree of you washing out old problems. I think there's the opportunity for you to redeem yourself in a situation if it's turned sour, because you now have the opportunity to put things right. It's almost as if you are kind of bringing light into darkness. I think that because of the watery nature of Neptune and the spirit of the mighty waters which this card is evoking, then it implies that your emotions are like water and should flow. I think you can have redemption or repair of a situation that is related to an emotional event or any transgressions that you may have made emotionally in relation to other people. I think that this is a time when you need to cut ties to guilt from past events. This is very much something which is talking about freedom from guilt and from past events. I'd have this thought in mind. I value breaking ineffective old patterns. I trust and have deep faith in the essence of who I am. I surrender to the higher path and to God's will. Yeah, it's a very, very releasing card, that releasing energy and forgiving energy that's there. Let's have a look at the Hierophant, shall we? It's interesting that it should show up just below that card of forgiveness and renewal. The Hierophant, well, for me, the knower of stars, priest, shaman, initiated into the movement of the planets and the wisdom of the serpent, guarding the keys to the realm of the unconscious. The gesture of his hand, which is very often shown as being like that, that is the sign of the initiated to the mystical arts. It's known as the way of the enterer. Then for me, I think that this is saying that you are enlightened to choose the way of service, where you transform suffering into knowing, and you get to know the energy of the universe and feel against your cheek its breath, which announces the magnificence of your existence. What would it be? I'm really getting Venus in Taurus with the moon exalted. Taurus is earth, and it emphasizes the importance, I think, of applying your spiritual realizations in the day-to-day world, as the Hierophant kind of links the spiritual with the material. I think that this is a time when you ought not to be considering setting up any revolutions or changing the state of play in relation to things just at the moment, because it indicates, I think, a need, or it's counseling you to go along with rules and regulations and even traditions which are important to you, or which actually regulate or envelop your existence. I think that this is a period of intense learning for you and education. If you're in a large company or a large organization, I think it's a time when it's going to prove to be very beneficial to you. And if you're not in teaching or counseling or consulting, then I think you should be, or you will at least have the abilities of those professions in your ordinary life. Whatever it is that you happen to be doing, you'll have those talents, albeit in a non-professional way. I think you'll be very gifted at imparting information and inspiring other people. I think you will be also attracted very much to music and sounds, and how different sounds how things can be put together to create different sounds. I think you'll be very good at listening and speaking, And you will want to make your ideas tangible and usable. There's a very deep desire I'm feeling here for you to be challenged by new experiences. I have this thought in mind. I honor the sacred within me. I am inspired by learning and teaching. I am creative and productive in my family and professional lives. And very much is the message that's coming through for you there. Let's have a look at this beautiful girl, the daughter of coins. The first thing that she's saying to me is that I feel that people who might be a Taurus or a Gemini or an Aries are going to be involved in your life at this time. The princess of the echoing hills, the rose of the palace of the earth. She is the daughter of earth. And I get the feeling here of pregnancy and birth, so you may well be hearing about things like that. There's very much the feeling of renewal and regeneration here, so I really do think that this is a time when you are really pushing things forward. You know, this is a great year for you as it started off, if you look at my yearly readings, which is in the playlist. But if you just consider the whole of this spread together, and what it's saying is that this is a time of real regeneration and rejuvenation of destiny. Now, as a person who you may know, and it may well have been one of those people that I mentioned, they're probably kind and benevolent and they follow their own will or true purpose in life. So I think what this card is about for you is about you getting in touch with the real you, getting in touch with your most important aspect and protecting it. I think it's a very productive time for you after what may well, in your mind at least, be considered to be something of a barren stretch. And it may be in relation to things that have come around from another person, I think, that you may have been concerned about, or an event, or how things are going. I think maybe things didn't work out in some way that you thought at the end of the year or through January, but now this is really talking about things pushing forward for you. And I'd say that you'll have... if you're involved in domestic life, this is particularly important for you. I think you're going to be very successful at things managing a family, managing home life. And I think that it's such a great card. You've got such renewal and rejuvenation here. I do hear of pregnancy. I'm hearing of pregnancy around, and I'm also hearing of marriage. But let's have a look at these guys, shall we? Let's have a look first at the Two of Spades. Now, of course, if I'm doing a one-on-one reading for you, the cards will have different meanings because it will depend on how they come up in individual spreads and with your own individual personal energy. But this particular card here is something which I say, it can signify the need to have others in your life. And it can mean sometimes the fear of being alone. There is a need for harmony, but I believe that there is a difficult decision to be made in relation to something. Certainly don't let your need for friendship blind you to the truth. It can sometimes relate to breaks in relationships. It can relate to deceit, funnily enough. Look, there's a possibility of infidelity or separation, although I don't know that necessarily relates to you. But for other people, I think it can also, and it may also relate to a break in an important process in your life. But I'm getting the feeling that it's one which you're actually happy to make. I actually think that it's something which you are making. The reason why I say that is because I have this Jack of Hearts here. And the jacks often relate to things which are new or have just been established, so there's a new path that's going on. And in relation to the other things that we've spoken about already, this isn't surprising, not surprising at all. I think what we can say here is that it can really be the start of a new relationship. It's because it's about, it can also mean invitations or proposals or messages or even gifts to be received by you. It may well represent you or someone that you live with, or it could also mean someone that you are going to meet. And that person that you are going to meet could well be this guy here, if that's the case for you. It can also, I say, actually represent a young admirer. And looking at this person, look, I have mixed feelings about this card and the energy that's associated with it. It can mean a man of authority and leadership who can be good for legal matters or for business. He can be sharp, witty, and intelligent. But the thing is with him, he can cause problems in relationships and with partnerships, with business deals, or with legal matters. It can also relate to an adult male, I think, with whom you have, at the moment, troubled thoughts relating to him. So there may be anxiety or troubled thoughts relating to an adult male, is what I'm getting there. Okay, I thought I'd throw those in there because sometimes I think you might find those things quite interesting. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, there you go. It looks like it's going to be an absolutely fantastic month for you, and that's great because you deserve it. And I have to say, you were fantastic during that reading. All that remains for me to say is this, and remember it always, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, bye for now.